Well, hello. Welcome back to the show. It is Sunday, March 31st, 2019. So, yeah. What's good? Zach, hello.
Hi.
How we doing? Let's see here. There we go. That's the graphic I want. So, some exciting news. So we've kind of been teasing it, but we have a new member of the Tech Me Media team who is not on with us today. I wish he was. I reached out to him earlier and asked him if he was going to be on. He's like, probably not. Anyways, at some point, hopefully, the online audience will get to meet Pleb, our latest addition to the Tech Me Media family. But anyways. So, I was just thinking about this, because I was just exporting a video on my end here, on my baller of a system, and I was thinking, so, Zach, you beat both me and Pleb in the graphics department.
Oh, yes.
Pleb beats you in the CPU side of things. He's got like a...
Are we like flexing our computers now?
Are we what?
Are we like flexing our computers now?
Flexing?
Flexing?
Yeah. Well, come on. I think that's a requirement of being a Tech B Media, like, I wouldn't say employee, but like member, I guess. There we go. Comparing ourselves. Although, let's be fair, okay? If we're comparing all members' systems, Joe has the worst system out there, so.
Poor Joe.
I know. Well, so here's the thing, though. So I was talking with him, and I had Pleb and Joe talk with each other the other day, and Pleb agreed that Joe needs to build a gaming computer. So hopefully, with enough push, Joe will finally build a system. So, I actually theoretically walked him through it. Like, I was just like, what component do you start with first, and what do you do with this? And he pretty much had it. So he knows what components, like, you know, what order they need to go in and things like that. It's just whether he's going to be able to put them in. I think, what do you think he's going to have the most trouble with?
Probably the heatsink.
Oh, you think so? That's not what I was thinking.
The heatsinks are the worst.
The
sometimes.
Evo,
Depends on which one he gets.
The Evo 212.
Is he getting an Evo or a 212 Plus? Because
he's getting the Evo 212. I was just super confused when I was putting mine on because I didn't understand it. Once I understood it, it went on really easily. So, okay, fine. I will give you that one. I was thinking something else, though.
Or you?
I was thinking the cables. Like, wiring everything?
Well, I mean, yeah, you can kind of mess it up. Like, you can do it and make it look really... But it will still work.
You can make it look really what?
Really bad.
Oh.
Like, if you do it, quote-unquote, wrong, it might end up looking, like, really horrible.
Oh, no, I was, like, well, I think one of the hardest parts to wire up is the front panel. If you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, those are always...
well, because it's different for every system, but as long as you read the manual, you'll be fine. That's what I did. I also managed to plug like a fan header into the wrong spot too, I think. Or something like that. So. That was interesting. Could you hear that?
A little bit, yeah.
That was the dog just like sprinting across the house. That was interesting. So. Must have heard something interesting. But, no, that's what I thought Joe would have the most trouble with. But anyways, no. Just take a guess as to how many gigs of RAM Pleb has in his system. It's bad.
4.
Not that bad.
Oh, 8. It's not bad.
It's not great. He's got a huge bottleneck, though, because he's got, like, an 8th gen Intel Core. Like, I think he's got an i7, I think. I might be off on that. I don't remember what his system was. But, anyways. Yeah. So that's the thing. But hopefully the online world will get to meet him at some point. So He's pretty busy this semester, so that doesn't help at all either. Anyway, I finally joined the club of breaking a home button. Whoops. Yeah, so I hate iPads. So I was working on an iPad yesterday, and because Apple, for whatever reason, decided, because you know how you get into an iPad, right, Zach?
You have to take the screen off.
Right, and guess what they affixed to the bottom of the screen?
The home button.
The home button ribbon cable. And what can't you break on an iPad or on an Apple device?
That.
Right, you can't break the home button. Otherwise, Touch ID doesn't work. So we gave that customer a couple options, though. They've elected to have us just put a new home button on, and they're totally fine with Touch ID not working. So, yeah. So we'll lose some money on that, but yeah. But yeah, so that was a joy. This whole weekend has not been a great weekend for me in device repair. Like, I was working on a phone yesterday that I had to, like, take apart, like, twice, and I had to do that with the phone today, and it's just been annoying, so. Yeah, but, how's, are you, I think there is some information that's embargoed, at least for the online world, in regards to your job, but, what are your plans? Have you found something different?
Oh, I mean, I've found some interesting things. Yeah, I mean,
check out anything yet?
I had a couple of interviews.
Oh, cool.
Last week, but nothing to really talk about yet.
Right. So, what we talked about, that's being put in place so that you guys can do that particular thing in the store, right?
Wait, what are you saying?
So, I don't know. The information you told me last week, is that embargoed?
Yes.
Okay, so, you know what I'm talking about. The online world doesn't know what I'm talking about, but the whole point of that is so that you guys can do the job in store, right?
Can what?
You guys can do that stuff in store, right?
Look, it's embargoed. What do you want me to do? I cannot tell you anything. Cannot say.
You can. Actually, yeah, you can. Hang on. Hold on. Oh, that's not what I wanted to hit.
What did you?
Hold on. Now you can tell me because your mic is muted. Got it. Okay, so the online world is like, what just happened? So, do you really want to partake in that? That's where I was leading with that.
No, it sounds.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would agree with you sometimes. Sometimes it's therapeutic, but sometimes it's not. So, anyways. So the online world is like, what the heck just happened there?
I mean, it's probably far from a big secret. I just, no.
No, it's fun to have secrets. It is fun to have secrets.
I'm sure you can find this.
Maybe not. I bet you it's probably internal. At some point, once they're ready to roll it out, they'll make it public, but...
Yeah, but at a huge organization, nothing like that stays secret for long.
That
everyone knows about it.
That is true.
Whatever.
So, yeah. All right, so let's get into this. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll go with that one. Cool. Yeah. So topics for this week. This isn't necessarily a super tech topic, but it's funny because it relates a tech company. So broadband and cable providers have already are what Zach would describe as the scum of the earth, basically. And they have a scummy reputation for hidden fees and inconvenient setup times. So yeah. Now, I don't know if they've ever committed a cardinal sin, but they have now. So, anyway, last week, a Spectrum employee in Los Angeles, apparently stole a young woman's dog and then drove off with him.
What? What was the purpose of this?
Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what breed of dog it was, but sometimes dogs can be, high value.
I guess.
Or some kind of ransom.
If you're looking to make some money, that just seems like an incredibly stupid thing to do.
Some kind of ransom, possibly. You know what I mean?
Maybe, I
now,
guess.
Fortunately for the dog, the entire incident was caught on the family security cameras. Monday evening, Melissa Cortez posted the video on Twitter, taking both Spectrum and local news outlets and hoping her 10-month-old pug puppy, it was a pug, okay, Andrew, would be returned home safely. The video circulated across social media, and in a matter of hours, local news outlets were responding. In a tweet, Cortez wrote that she had contacted Spectrum directly and filed a police report on Monday. Good for her. Fortunately, she didn't have to wait long. In less than 24 hours, Andrew is reportedly brought back home by Spectrum's head of security. Okay. In a statement, Spectrum told The Verge that its security team had rectified the situation. As part of its support of the Riverside Sheriff's investigation, Spectrum Security has recovered the dog and has returned it to its owner, a spokesperson said. The employee involved has been informed that he has been terminated. I would hope so.
Yeah.
Like, come on. The name of the position of the employee is unclear. The name and position of the employee is unclear. Now enjoy. Okay. There's a cute little photo of the dog and her together. So, anyways, but yeah. So, here's the video, real quick. I know Zach can't see this, but that's okay. So, you see the Spectrum employee walk up to the house, and then he kind of disappears for a few seconds. Presumably, he's grabbing the dog now. And then, if I remember correctly, you'll see him like sprint back to the Spectrum van here. Man, he's in there for a long time. Oh, here he goes. So he's got the dog. Hops into the van. And then takes off, and apparently, I don't know if he... It looks like he hit, like, a palm tree or something like that. Because, like, there's a palm tree on the passenger side, and you see it, like, move. So, I don't know if he just hit, like, the branches of it. Or, like, the palms, I guess. There's not really branches on palm trees. But, like, the palms, or what exactly. So, but, yeah. So, that's the thing that happened this week. So, well, last week, I guess. Yeah. So... But yeah, that does beg a question though. Why steal a dog? You know what I mean? All right. Well, let's move on. So, Icelandic low-cost airline WELL Air announced the other day that it ceased operations and all flights have been canceled. And a travel alert, the airline is advising that passengers who have a scheduled flight with the airline seek rescue fares from other airlines or request a refund through their credit card companies or travel insurance if it was purchased. So, the article title basically states, I don't know if this is actually true, we'll have to look at it. Budget airline WELL Air collapses and cancels all flights, stranding passengers.
Oh my.
Right. So here's what somebody said. He said, we're just kind of like cockroaches or garbage in their eyes. So that was a stranded passenger at Boston Logan Airport. They told the CBS News affiliate. The guy said that he had booked on a WOW Air flight home to Iceland when he received multiple delay notifications before the flight, and airline was canceled. Passengers at other airports were simply told to leave and come back late. What? Leave and come back later? What? That is not the way to handle customer service at all. Wow. How long do you think you would be at your job for, Zach, if you told a customer to leave and come back later? And not like
well, you know, there's a lot of people that I wish I could say that.
Okay. So there are a lot of people as well. Like, for instance, today. So, part of the reason the show was a little delayed today was, well, mostly Zach, but it worked out in our favor because I was late getting started with everything too. I actually had to work today. Normally I have Sundays off. So, there were some staffing needs. So anyways, I was the only one in the store today, and I had, one person who had brought a phone in, and, I tried a screen on it, got it all up and running, had everything on it, figured, oh, you know, standard repair, or normal repair, went to go touch the screen, and I couldn't tap anything. I was like, frick. So, grabbed another screen, moved all the components over to the other screen, turned it on, tapped the screen, nothing again. I was like, frick! So, basically, I did that repair 4 times because I put that person's original screen back on for a while, and then they told me, because they called me to ask me if it was done. I said, hey, this is what's going on. And they said, go ahead and put a black screen on it. So, put a black screen on it, and that ended up working. But, like, by this point, I'd had the phone for, like, 2 hours, and I had people keep coming in and things like that, and then they would, like, want to, like, continue to talk with me after I, like, rung them up. It was just like, okay, grab what you need, let's ring you up, I gotta get you out of here, because I gotta get stuff done. But yes, so, let me ask you this. Do you have, I guess what would be considered, no pun intended, frequent flyers?
Yes.
Got it.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Now, as with anyone, you get frequent flyers that are okay to work with, and you get frequent flyers that are not so okay to work with, correct?
Most of the frequent flyers are just like old people who really just don't really know anything about computers, and they're mostly pleasant. They're mostly polite and pleasant and workable. You know, the ones that are actually just nightmares to work with are quite few and far between, actually, I have to say.
Right. Yeah,
So,
I would say that's true too.
it's really not so.
I think what's different is the establishments that both of us work in are what I would consider to be targeted more towards kind of a like middle class to high class, not necessarily like the low class. You know what I mean? It's not
Maybe.
like it's not like it's targeted for like low income necessarily.
Oh, I suppose.
Now, don't get me wrong. We do have people who come from that particular class, you know, come into our establishments.
I can't even see how that's relevant, though.
Well, here's why. Because now I'm going to stereotype very, very hard here, but in my experience, I worked for a discount retail chain at one point in time, and the type of people that would come in were more of that lower. You had like middle class and high class, but you had a lot of people that were in the lower class that were, you know, maybe on some assistance, and no offense to anybody in that class, but I think those people are always trying to look for, not all of them, but some of them are looking for handouts. And so I feel like those type of people are harder to work with sometimes.
I don't know. I don't really see it.
So,
Like, I don't know. We don't really have many people.
but
like
that's
that
what I'm
come
saying is that the establishments that we work in now are targeted more towards that middle class and that higher class with
Oh, I suppose, yeah.
who I think just kind of are they're in a better place. They're not necessarily looking for like a handout. And I'm not trying to offend anybody here or anything like that. But like and it's not fair to stereotype everyone that
I hate to say it, but you're going to.
what? Hate to say what?
I hate to say it, but you're going to offend someone.
Oh yeah, right. But like not everyone in that class has some of those values. I think what happens is there are those select few that get grouped into that class that basically ruin it for everyone else. But I think that's true with all kinds of things for sure. But I think people who are in a maybe necessarily are a higher class value things a little bit more, and so they're not looking to see what they can get out of somebody sometimes. I think. I don't know. But how did we get on that? Oh yeah.
I don't know. We're talking about annoying customers. Something like that.
No. Here's what we were talking about. We were talking about how the airline told people to leave and we were talking about how the airline told people to leave and come back later. So the guy that they were talking to says that he and his family were supposed to fly from Detroit to Dublin when the airline also delayed their flight multiple times before canceling. Oh, this is another guy. He said that he was supposed to be flying from Detroit to Dublin when the airline also delayed their flight multiple times before canceling altogether. At the airport, he says the airline offered pizzas and free hotel stays to the impacted Okay, I can kind of sort of give them that a little bit.
I mean, it's better than nothing, but at the same time, like, what if I have somewhere to be timely?
Right, but you're
just gonna screw me?
Yeah, but they did not tell them the news about the airline shutdown until they all received the travel alert from WOW Air in their emails. Okay. Iceland Air, a large airline also based in the country, is currently offering reduced fares for those who are affected by the shutdown. Okay. They're probably getting some good PR right now for doing that. According to the local news site Iceland Review, an estimated 2,700 to 4,000 passengers have been stranded. Holy crap. Okay. I mean, that's not a huge number, but it's not a good number either. Iceland Air is working with those who are stuck in Iceland to bring them home. Another estimated 1,100 WOW Air employees lost their jobs after the announcement. Customers who aren't traveling are also impacted, noting that their WOW Air vouchers have been rendered useless. Okay. Somebody said that they booked their flight 9 months ago, and now obviously the airline has canceled that flight.
That sucks,
Oh, wait. Oh, so actually, I'm sorry. The company canceled the flight in January and credited her a voucher. Most credit card companies refund or charge back purchases, but the case is generally limited to transactions made within the past 120 days. So, yeah, this is not a good deal here. So the airline's collapse follows a series of sudden budget airline shutdowns in recent months. Let's see, Denmark-based Primera Air abruptly closed
Never
operations.
heard of it.
Right? so this is interesting. Iceland Air was actually interested in acquiring WoW Air at one point in time, but scrapped the plans after failing to make agreements at their shareholders meeting. That's interesting. Oh, and if Norwegian Air goes down, it would heavily impact passengers worldwide. Last year, it carried a record 37 million passengers. 1.6 million of those were on transatlantic routes, which made Norwegian the most popular non-U.S. airline for travelers between Europe and the Americas, beating out British Airways, Emirates, Lufthansa, and Air France. Interesting. Wow. Can you imagine? You're sitting in the airport, right? About ready to hop on your flight, and then it gets delayed, and you're like, okay, fine, whatever. Then it gets delayed again, it keeps getting delayed, and then all of a sudden they're just like, oh, yeah, by the way, you're stranded in France, and you live in America, and you can't get home.
Yeah, then you're pretty stuffed, huh?
But here's some free pizza, and we'll put you up in a hotel for, maybe a couple nights. Like...
Yes, and that helps me how, aside from not leaving me on the streets for a couple nights?
Right? Because, I still gotta get home.
But... Oh, yeah, that is a thing. Wasn't really intending to move.
Right? Well, I fear that there could be some legal issues with that whole thing. Visas and citizenship and other complications.
A few issues.
Yeah, so that's a thing. But yeah. Hold on. I am getting up for just a minute here. Oh gosh. This is not going to work very well. Okay. We're just going to close the door. Because the dog is going to drive me insane. All right. Shoot. I totally meant to get this set up earlier, but that's okay. Time for Microsoft news.
Why?
So, what has Microsoft done this week? Shall we find out? Honestly,
fun things, I'm sure.
I forgot what. Oh, Microsoft leads the way in banning April Fool's Day pranks. Is this the best I could come up with?
Wow.
No Clippy pranks this year. Does everyone hate April Fool's Day? Really?
Why does Microsoft hate pranks?
I don't know. But Microsoft is taking a stand against its own corporate pranks. Microsoft marketing chief has warned
no fun allowed.
Right.
No fun allowed. Get caught having fun, you're getting.
He has warned all employees to not participate in the process of annoying hoaxes on Monday. In an internal memo obtained and verified by The Verge, he explains that data tells us these stunts have limited positive impact and can actually result in unwanted news cycles. He encourages all teams inside Microsoft not to do any public-facing April Fool's Day stunts. Okay. He says, I appreciate that people may have devoted time and resources to these activities, but I believe we have more to lose than gain by attempting to be funny on this one day. That's probably a safe bet.
And there is some truth to that. I suppose, a lot of times when companies try to be funny and pretend they have any souls at all, it ends up looking kind of bad for them.
This is
they
true.
End up just making people cringe and facepalm a little bit.
Right.
They do that.
So that's probably a safe bet, and we've seen some April Fool's Day pranks backfire spectacularly in the past. Google was forced to apologize for adding Despicable Me minions into emails and muting threads a few years ago, causing email havoc for Gmail users. Microsoft has also participated in many April Fool's Day pranks over the years, including an MS-DOS mobile for Windows Phone and Google insults. Okay. Microsoft's April Fool's Day ban comes just as the company resurrected its Clippy Office system before killing it off a day later. Microsoft workers transformed the paperclip into an animated pack of stickers for the company's Teams chat software, but a source tells The Verge that the brand policy inside the company shut it down a day later. We talked about that last week. Oh, did you know this? April Fool's Day is a 500-year tradition that we can probably live without. But it persists each and every year regardless. Microsoft is clearly trying to lead the way and change that from a tech perspective. So we'll have to see if the same message has reached Google, Amazon, Snap, T-Mobile, and the many other tech companies that participated in annual prank days last year.
I'm sure some of them will maybe even like take a dig at Microsoft.
Maybe. So
like Microsoft hates fun, but we love it.
I totally shoot. We were thinking about doing this and it would be totally funny. So one of our guys at work is not the most technologically inclined. Like he knows enough to be able to use a computer and things like that. But so somebody had come in with a phone the other day and they had broken the screen or something like that and turned assist. Oh yeah, there was no display. And they had somehow managed to get assistive touch on or assistive speak on, where Siri basically says everything that's on the screen.
Oh god.
Have you ran into this issue ever before?
No, I'm sure that just...
Okay, if you do...
I can already tell. It's going to be...
If you do, here is the thing. So, if you tap on something, Siri will start telling you what you've tapped on. But, like, we were trying to figure out how to get into the phone. We had to put the passcode in. You got to double tap on things. Or, like, yeah, you have to, like, hit things, like, twice in a row.
Lovely.
So, and every time you hit something... Like, let's say you were putting the password in, Siri's like, 1, 1, 7, 1, 2, 7. Home screen. Settings. Apple. So it's like reading all the folders and like the time and like, holy crap. I have never heard something more annoying in my life. So like, and then you would like double tap like settings and then you'd like scroll down general. So we were thinking about, we thought it would be really funny to get an iPhone, turn that on and then hand it to this guy and just watch him go berserk.
Oh goodness.
That's a funny April Fool's Day prank. Have you ever pulled any April Fool's pranks like in your days?
Honestly, I don't think I ever really cared much for the day. Like,
right.
I wasn't really bothered with it.
I'm sure you've had April Fool's Day pranks played on you, though.
I don't know. It's been a while, probably, since that's ever happened, to tell you the truth.
Right. So,
although I have nothing against other people who party.
Just as long as it's not, just as long as it doesn't affect you.
Pretty much.
I like that. That's funny. So, yeah. So, no April Fool's Day shenanigans for Microsoft employees this year.
No fun.
Right? This is a fun-free zone.
Fun-free zone over.
So, so remember a couple weeks ago how we were talking about Apple's keyboards?
Oh, how they suck. Oh.
Right. So, in a rare twist of events, Apple apologizes for continued reliability problems with its MacBook keyboards.
Wow.
Wait, what?
Shocking.
I'm sorry.
Apple
actually admitted that they screwed up.
Oh my god.
Oh man. With its Mac
company.
Yeah.
Keen to admit a design fault in any of their products.
Yeah, so with
it's just somehow funnier when it's
right. So with its MacBook keyboards in the spotlight again, Thanks to a bruising column from Jonas Stern at the Wall Street Journal, Apple the other day acknowledged that a quote-unquote small number of its customers are still experiencing reliability issues and failing keys when using the company's third-generation Butterfly keyboard. Okay, can we address something real quick here? Only Apple could make an apology that's not an apology.
Could make an apology what?
Like, could create an apology that's not really an apology.
Yes. This is correct.
Acknowledge today that a small number of our customers, just a small number. Anyways, okay. We are aware that a small number of users are having issues with their third generation Butterfly keyboard. And for that, we are sorry, an Apple spokesman told Stern in a statement. The vast majority of Mac notebook customers are having a positive experience with the new keyboard. Okay. I can't actually really say because I don't have numbers, but I would really love to just call BS right now.
I would really like to just call these keyboards garbage.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. I hate the butterfly
like
switches.
It's just the most unpleasant keyboard I've ever.
There's no travel. No
It's
travel.
It's like you're just tapping. Well, you're just tapping, I guess.
Is it?
Like, gosh.
Ooh, here's
I
a
don't
good
know how to
question.
describe it
No,
other
no,
than
no.
just comparing it to one of those old Surface keyboards.
Right. Okay.
That
I was
didn't
just
have
about
any
to ask
travel
you
at all,
though.
and it was just like a felt pad
I-
that you tap. And
right.
It registers.
I was about to ask you though. Is it worse than, like, what's worse? The felt Microsoft Surface keyboard or the Apple Butterfly switches?
Honestly, I'd still take the Apple switches. That Surface keyboard was a tough one to beat in terms of trashness.
I like that. Trashness.
Like Apple put in a good showing. They really tried their best to be worse, but they couldn't quite be worse.
We suck
I'm
at
sure
failing.
they'll do better next time, and by better I mean worse.
We suck at failing, apparently. So, Casey Johnston at the Outline brought the questionable dependability of Apple's redesigned laptop keyboards to widespread attention in 2017, combining her own frustration with the amount of users complaints over the delicate butterfly switch design that Apple switched to beginning in the 2012 MacBook in 2015. Okay. That sentence didn't make sense to me for a second. Anyways, Apple responded to the criticism by, I love this, quietly adding by quietly adding a rubber membrane to its third version of the keyboard, which was meant to keep out the dust and other particles that had somehow led to keyboard or keys becoming completely unusable on prior models. I remember this. Okay, I remember there was a big conversation about that where, that they had put that membrane under there because like crumbs and stuff would get under there because people obviously use their laptops when they're eating and things like that. Shoot, I'm guilty of that. I'm sure you are too.
Yes. But, I have a nice desk that I can put my foodstuffs on, so that helps. But, actually a lot of computers that I work on, like, I swear, it's like these people been using them like dinner plates. I don't know.
Oh man.
Either that or like people have been using them like I don't know how to even like come up with any kind of a thing.
I've gotten some disgusting
I'm talking about like they've been using it as an air filter for their cigarette smoke or something.
Ooh. Those are the worst.
Have those too. Those are the worst. And like you open it up and it's just the inside is just caked in This is like
It just hits you.
black, gross substance. Oh, it's
Do I
like,
do I need a
man, just
hazmat
put this
suit?
computer out of its misery, please. This computer deserves.
Right. It's like, do I need a hazmat suit for this?
I actually, the last time I ran into one of those, I was informed that I was actually allowed to refuse to check a computer in if I felt it was not fit to be worked.
Huh. I see.
I hope that I never have to exercise that right, because I feel like it will make a very awkward conversation. Like, no, sir, your computer is too disgusting for us to.
Oh,
Like,
come
I'm
on.
sure that will.
Come on. If there were no repercussions, you would totally go for it.
Well, there aren't going to be any repercussions. As long as the computer is, in fact, suitably disgusting.
Right. But I mean repercussions as in, like, the customer wouldn't, like, retaliate against you.
Oh, I'm not afraid of the customer. What, is the customer going to punch me or something?
Maybe. Although then there's
In the
legal
full view
issues
of,
there.
Like, dozens of cameras, staff, of course, someone would
That doesn't mean that somebody's not going to do it. Just because you're not supposed to.
I'm not saying it's impossible, but
Right.
I'd wager it won't.
No. I would wager that it's not going to happen probably either,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to say that it won't happen.
Right. I'm not going to say it's impossible. But
I mean, we don't live in Florida, so. But, do you get the reference there? No? That's where, like, all the stupid criminal stories come out of.
yes. Oh, no, I do. Don't worry. Florida man, insert horrendous thing.
Did you partake in the Florida Man Challenge? No.
Never even heard of
Oh,
the
that's
Florida
right,
Man.
because you're not on
Sounds
social
cool.
media.
That sounds like the stupidest thing. And yes, I do tend to hear about things. Don't worry.
Right.
But it sounds incredibly.
So did you hear about this one? The Florida Man Challenge?
But what?
So the Florida Man Challenge was that you would do Florida Man, and you put your birth date in, just the month and year, or the month and day, and then you would post the stupid Florida criminal story that came out of, that happened on that particular day.
Okay.
Right.
I thought it was going to be something like you put in your birthday and then it gives you a thing that you have to do that's really. I was like, of course, that's just no.
No. So, and here's the other thing I love about Apple is that whenever there's a problem, they always quietly fix it. Like they're always quietly doing things like, oh, we're just gonna.
Or like they always quietly don't do anything about it most of the time.
Right. Oh, we're just gonna quietly like start slowing people's devices down that have old batteries in them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? People are gonna figure it out eventually. But, let's see here. So dust and other particles will get under the keyboard, leading to the keys becoming completely unusable on prior models. The company never publicly acknowledged that it was there for that purpose, but a leaked service document confirmed as much. Apple went on to launch an extended repair program for all styles of the... Wow, what does that say? That Apple had to literally create an extended repair program for their butterfly switches.
Their keyboard sucks. But they're not. There's nothing wrong with them, though. There's nothing wrong with them. We're just being genuine.
Right.
Because we love our customers. Woo! Apple. Blah, blah, blah.
So, iFixit found Apple's solution to be an improvement in defending against debris, but it was far from perfect, with particles like sand still able to get through and jam up the butterfly mechanism. Other reports of key problems have persisted, even with the third-generation keyboard. Starr wrote her column without the letters E and R to illustrate how annoying the problem is. Interesting. Let's see. Daring Fireball's John Gruber similarly held back no punches when linking to the Journal's story. He said, I consider these keyboards the worst products in Apple history. MacBooks should have the best keyboards in the industry. Instead, they're the worst.
I mean, they really are. Like, I work on all kinds of laptops, old and new, and nothing has a worse keyboard than a new model Mac.
Right.
No, absolutely nothing. Not even a con. It's not even a contest. I've seen tablets with better keyboards than that. I'm talking like the ones with like keyboard. Like those keyboards are way better.
I like this.
That's the kind of keyboard you would expect to be garbage because it's got tiny keys and it's thin. But
is it worse than a cheap? It's worse than like a cheap mechanical keyboard, or not mechanical, membrane keyboard. I'm sorry.
Yes, it's far worse.
Like, okay, so this right here. Okay, this is my 2012 MacBook Pro. And it does not have butterfly switches on it. This has just like the standard regular. Right. This is just the regular standard keyboard that Apple had put on their MacBook Pros at the time. This keyboard is awesome.
7 years of keyboard development, they've come up with garbage.
Right. Like, honestly, I could not see myself sitting down and working on homework. Like a writing assignment on a butterfly keyboard, like laptop. Now, this laptop here, while not my mechanical keyboard, I love working on assignments on my mechanical keyboard. But in a pinch, if I have to do it on a mobile device, or mobile platform, the keyboard on that thing is awesome. One of the better ones that I've ever used in a laptop, I think. So that was a great design. I don't know why Apple decided that they needed to change it. This is what pisses me off about Apple, is that they actually come up with good things sometimes, and then they break it. Because they're like, oh, gotta move the industry forward. We know what you want. Who gives two craps about what the customer wants? You know what I mean?
We're Apple. We know what you want.
I need to get that printed on a shirt.
I know what you want. My name is Cortana. I know what you want.
No! So you know what? You know what?
I'm going to help you get what you want because I'm Cortana. I know exactly what you want.
No.
I know what you want for sure.
Cortana
Without
is
any
dead.
shadow of a doubt. I know what.
Cortana's dead. You want to know what's funny? So I saw this and we... maybe was this week or last week? Let's see here. So basically, I don't remember what app it was, but there was an app that like Microsoft had developed that had Cortana in it, and then what they did is they dropped Cortana in favor of Amazon Alexa. I don't remember.
Like Cortana's useless.
Right. So
funny how that
so
works.
the company is Microsoft has finally just decided Cortana's just dead. Like, it sucks. Like,
Cortana is gutter trip.
So all right, final story for this week. A serial swatter who led to Kansas man's death has been sentenced to 20 years in prison.
Sucks for him.
Right. So a serial hoax caller who led to a Kansas man's death was sentenced to 20 years in prison the other day. In late 2017, Tyler Barris phoned in a false emergency call on behalf of a gamer angry over a Call of Duty match. The information Barris used in the call, however, was outdated, and when the police arrived at the home, they fatally shot a man who wasn't involved in the disagreement. The gamer had been arguing over a $1.50, well, really, bet. Okay, fine.
So why did they shoot the...
This is a great question, and I have no idea why.
Like, that also probably is weird. Like,
right. I do not want to open that can of worms. But yeah, Authorities later connected Barris to other swatting incidents, including one made during a Federal Communications Commission vote to repeal net neutrality rules. The 26-year-old Barris ultimately pleaded guilty last year to 51 charges. The officers involved in the Kansas shooting were not charged, although the victim's family has sued the city of Wichita, according to the Associated Press. The intended victim and man who recruited Barris are also facing charges, including conspiracy to obstruct justice. In Barris's case, the prosecution has reportedly requested a 25-year sentence, while the defense team requested 20 years. Wow. Let's just talk about this for a minute. We are not going to get into the whole can of worms of police brutality and police shootings and things like that. I still want to know what happened. I kind of want to know what happened too. But
yeah, that seems reasonable, right? Know what happened. We don't have to talk about why. Just curious to hear what's their side of the.
Oh, here it is. Okay, 2017 Wichita swatting. It was a swatting event that occurred on December 28, 2017. 25-year-old Los Angeles resident Taylor Barris called the police to falsely report a violent crime in progress. Okay, so that could have something to do with it. Due to a disagreement over a $1.50 bet on a 2017 video game called Call of Duty World War II. Andrew Finch, 28, lived at the address given by Barris and was fatally shot on the front porch of his home by Wichita police. None of the police at the scene were members of the police tactical SWAT team trained to handle hostage situations. Okay.
So why did they shoot him? What was he doing? He was just sitting on his porch?
Well, probably some poor training and things like that. Probably not the right people for the right job.
Really?
Let's see. Police said that Finch was not the intended target of the swatting. It was not involved with the Call of Duty game. The caller stated that the suspect had shot and killed his father. Was holding his mother and younger brother hostage and was planning to set the house on fire. Got it. And what probably happened was that either the guy wasn't cooperating or something. What I'm guessing probably happened is, I'm making speculations here, but I'm guessing because these people weren't part of a SWAT team and trained to handle like hostage situations like that, that probably had something to do with it. So whether that's actually true or not, I don't know. So don't take my word. This is also.
I heard the story.
This is also a Wikipedia article. So but let's talk about real quick the problem with with swatting. Is it still as big of a thing as it was? Because I know for a while there. It was a pretty big thing. So, and like why somebody would think that that's like a funny thing to do, I don't know. People are twisted.
I didn't think it was funny. He wanted to mess with the guy because he was mad.
Oh, so the guy who called the SWAT in?
That's what it sounded like to me. Yeah, he sounded like he was mad over like losing in Call of Duty or something like that. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. So, rapid fire real quick here. Don't change your Twitter birthday to 2007 unless you want to be kicked off of the platform. Because basically, it kicks you off for being under the age of 13. So yeah, that must be a new thing that they've just implemented.
Okay. Noted, even though I don't.
Right. Verizon has launched a free service for identifying and blocking spam calls. So that's kind of cool. I might have to check that out. Oh, okay. So there is a couple different versions, of course. There's a free version, and then there's a paid version for $3 a month per line. The free version will protect you from spam detection, spam filter, and report numbers. While the paid version includes caller ID, personal spam list, personal block list, risk meter, and spam lookup. Interesting. Let's see. Oh, yeah. And thieves have stolen 26,000 gallons of fuel using a special remote. Technology can make our lives easier and more secure if it's used properly, but total gas stations in France are learning that the hard way after 26,400 gallons, which is 120,000 liters of fuel, were stolen from its pumps.
Yikes.
It's kind of funny, actually. As ZDNet reports, one brand of fuel pump total uses at its stations across Paris are protected by a lock code, but the code needs to be changed on each pump once they are installed because they are all defaulted to 0000.
Uh-oh, and let me guess, some of them weren't changed.
Of course, the gas station's managers didn't bother to change the codes, which meant anyone who knew the default code could access the pumps, set the fuel price to 0, and remove the fill-up limit. French police discovered fuel was being stolen from these pumps in April last year. A group of 5 individuals had purchased a special remote online that could be used to unlock them. They started visiting the pumps at night, unlocking them, and then a van would drive up containing a tank capable of carrying up to 660 gallons of fuel. So, The stolen fuel was then advertised online and social media used to schedule when someone could visit a location and fill up their vehicle cheaper than at the station. In total, it is thought the thieves made around $168,000 from their venture. Interesting. The police made their first arrest in April, but it wasn't until last week that the other 4 members of the gang were arrested on Monday. They also assume that Total now has the required procedures in place to ensure all new pumps with a lock code have that code changed as a priority when they are installed. Wow.
Yes, hopefully.
Security by obscurity, Zach?
Doesn't exist! Exists, but doesn't work!
Oh, man. So... Oh, in other news, Apple is going to be launching a credit card, I guess. Did you hear about this?
Oh, great. That
right.
sounds dope.
Just another way. Oh, and they're going to be made out of titanium, I've heard.
Right, because of course Apple's got to be a special snowflake.
Yeah.
Plastic.
Didn't you know
Plastic is too much of a peasant material for...
Didn't you know that? Apple is special? Oh, man. So, well, that is our show for this week. So,
Woo-hoo.
right. So Zach, are you going to get the Apple card? Just silence. Just silence.
I said no.
Oh.
I said negative.
I didn't hear you say anything. I think the silence was even better, though. Just like, nope. So, anyways, but yeah. Like I said, that is our show this week. If you enjoyed it, thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. Comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff down below. And we will see you next week here on The Ram Show. Bye.